Lumi. This also did true damage, which
Never
was
getting
very
those beads
good.
again. Never.
And now we're going to be changing it to
Worthless.
magic damage,
They're
so
actually
there will
worthless
be
now.
mitigations involved with it now. So not only can it not kill you, it
Oh, you
will
can't hear it.
theoretically
What?
be doing a little bit less than before because it's also getting through those mitigations.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That instant bonk was kind of hard to deal with. So next up, we have kind of a grouping of changes. It looks like Cloak of Meditation, Greater Cloak of Meditation, Cloak of the Ascetic, and Cloak of the Avatar. All kind of getting a little bit of a nerf. So what's going on there?
No, they're nerfing Med. I love Med.
So we did the soft meditation rework towards the end of last season.
Med needed a nerf dose. Pretty much built every game.
From this meme relic to something that people actually wanted to pick and probably even favor over other relics like Shell. So when we went into the relic upgrades, they're all still pretty strong, and we didn't factor into the fact that meditation was pretty strong at the end of last season. So this is kind of addressing that meditation with the upgrades, and even without them, are just as strong relics to begin with. So we're going to be toning all of them down together, as you can see, really just hitting the health and missing a health per tick. And obviously the mana is going to be coming in parity too. So hopefully you're going to see a little bit more exploration with other relics that can be used. Definitely
they needed a nerf. This is a good nerf. Good nerf.
Oh yeah, there are so many. I've been playing. I played a lot since 9.1 release, and I feel like I still haven't gotten a good grasp on all of them yet. Just so many situations that you can play into. So next up we have Warrior's Axe, also getting a nerf.
Yes, fuck you, Warriors. Fuck you.
So we've been getting a very
I'm not supposed to say the F word.
For the past couple of patches.
Fudge.
But one thing that we've noticed is that Warrior's Axe seems to just be the starter item.
Increase passive effect, damage, and healing and mana gain from 25 to 20. Increase passive cooldown. Ooh, baby. Good. Good. I love it.
Kind of show up in
yes.
pieces as well.
I don't know, Ronnie.
That by nerfing Warrior's Axe and up next Sunday.
I started watching the stream when it was
more diversity there in the starter items that not every single
like halfway into the relics
is going to be locked into getting Warrior's Axe and feeling like they can't really fight very much.
Yes, nerf the axe, baby. Let's go.
Brings Warrior's Axe so much goodness in the soul lane is that little bit of sustain and health steal. Just having that plus the bit of damage is really, really nice. So we just want to make sure that you're not getting too much sustain, too much extra damage with that. So we're taking that part down just a little bit.
Good. Take it down more than a little bit, please.
The cooldown, reducing the frequency of that happening on Sundering Axe as well.
Yeah, awesome. Dulling the axes, but I mean, I'm a Bluestone fan. I like the shiny rock, so I'm all about that.
We've got some fun stuff for Bluestone as well later on. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. All right, so the last item in the bonus balance is going to be the Crusher, also getting a nerf to be a little less crushy. So
what?
Yeah, Crusher's just been a kind of a catch-all for all physical defense.
No.
It's a
what?
Nerf, I think, for the hunters.
No.
As well as everyone's kind of picking this up. It's an extremely popular item and it's doing very well. So we're just hitting a little bit at a
Why are you touching my items? I have this is the one item I had.
Strengths are you're gonna see some.
Oh my god!
Bits at a time for most of these.
I hate you, Hi-Rez.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean,
I hate you.
Wildest time of the year, so many new things happening.
My god!
What's going on? Cool. Well, that does it for
no, not cool.
9.1 bonus balance. Again,
of course, that's the last item to get nerfed.
Talk about as well. Starting with Achilles, looks like the shield of Achilles is actually getting maybe a little bit of a nerf. So
anytime a hunter builds something, it gets nerfed,
so
bro.
Achilles
Why?
I've seen a lot of that top end of solo lane play. He's got a really good time in lane, especially going into the later stages of the game. That execute is just wild, man. But we're not trying to really harping on that execute in the late game, rather Shield of Achilles in the late game has won. So we're just going to be taking down the physical power scaling a little bit. So you solo laners have
good
power. You're going to be doing
whatever. It's a warrior, Ronnie. I don't care. Glad they're nerfing him.
That outer range of the cone as well. So
yeah,
before it used to be about 72% scaling wise, but now it's going down to I think around 68%. So just keep that in mind. If you want to keep doing damage, you have to be close to people, get them in the inner cone, and you'll still be hitting hard, but not as hard.
Good.
Sounds good. Achilles is scary, so fair. Except for Candy Shop Achilles. But either way. All right, so next up we have Bastet getting, looks like a bit of a nerf as well. Night Stalker is getting touched on some stats, and then Huntress of Bast. So what's happening there, Clumsy?
Yeah, what do we have? 3 nerfs for Bastet and each patch back to back. Okay, we hear you
Scary
guys.
cat.
Bastet in the rework is definitely quite strong, and there's a lot of different things to break down and assess with Bastet. We are going to be hitting the new components, the Night Stalker, the passive, as well as 100 of Bast, 100
Good, good. Nerf Bastet, good.
That's not to say that we haven't heard you guys talking about how the rest of the kit is really strong with these new components in play. So we're going to be touching what we think are the strong points for now, and going to keep an eye on the rest of her kit as a whole. If we need to nerf other aspects of her, if we need to do a 4th nerf and a 4th patch in a row, we will continue to look at that.
Nerf her.
It's all about making it feel good and making Scary Cat just a little less scary. Cool. So
yes, very cool.
Camazotz, which always hurts my feelings because I love Camazotz, getting a little bit of a nerf. So Devour and Bat Out of Hell being taken down a notch. What's happening with that, Lumi?
Yeah, we did nerf Camazotz a little bit earlier, and of course he is going to get affected by the Soul Lane change, a little bit of the Crusher change as well. He's kind of in that.
Good, Camazotz, get him out of here. Get him out. No one likes him.
Be a jungler or a Soul Laner, but we just want to kind of decrease his safety a little bit. Seeing that Devour and that Bat Out of Hell a little bit less often will make it so that he can't really be as squirmy, escapable, whatever you want to call it. Out of any ganks that you come across, because really, I'm rolling up to the Soul Lane. There's a Camazotz there. If he has Bat Out of Hell, I'm not getting him. So at this point, if you're able to force that Bat Out of Hell in lane, well, now your jungler can show up, and that Camazotz is as good as dead. Send him back to hell, because he's probably going to be going there after these nerfs.
Probably. It's what a shame. I loved playing Muscle Bird and scoring the kill, eating a hamburger, and
good.
I don't know, taking
good nerfs.
Too, so. Yeah. Guess I'll just have to find another plan until he comes back from hell. So next up, Fenrir getting a nerf as well. Ragnarok just having some cooldown bumps, I guess.
That nerf's whatever. That nerf doesn't do anything. They might as well have not even done that nerf.
Gods that, obviously he's an assassin, but is that obvious? Because we're seeing him played as a guardian in the duo lane role more often than not. Ragnarok as the ultimate cooldown is something that we think has been really primarily allowing him to do so, because if you can grab that other dual laner, if you can come in as a guardian with a lot of health and protections every 90 seconds, well, now you're gonna have 10 seconds off of that, or 10 seconds increase on that. So there may be other issues with Ragnarok, there may be other issues with Fenrir, but we're gonna be hitting again lightly at a time, and we're just focusing on the ultimate cooldown for now.
That's fair. Very equal. We're nerfing Scary Cat a little bit. Got to nerf Scary.
I think they need to nerf the duration of his ult, man. His ult lasts too long.
Just for fairness. So next up, Gilgamesh, also getting a little bit of a nerf.
Oh no, not Gil.
Having a little changes made to him. What's going on, Lumi?
Yeah, so we've been seeing some warriors flex into the jungle recently, and Gilgamesh was definitely one of them.
Poor Panatom. Now his god pull went from 1 to 0. Oh god. Poor guy.
The ability, but we just want to make sure that he is staying in solo. That's kind of where we imagine him being. We appreciate the flexibility of characters like this going into
increased burst damage, drop kick.
Good, so taking some damage.
That's okay. I mean, he was in it.
Just make it a little bit less.
I think that's fine. Nerfs.
A little bit more focused on the CC, the buffs, etc. that it gives Gilgamesh.
Yep. And again, a lot of these god changes, a lot of these item changes are coming off of the strength of these characters from the last season, but also seeing how they persist.
A little bit on the base damage, and a little bit of scaling as well, yeah.
So if you're seeing these ones on here, it's because they're still quite strong.
Yeah, I mean, with all the item changes, the brand new relic,
I think he's still fine.
It's shined a whole new light on the battleground, so there's some strengths coming out that we couldn't even anticipate with all the play testing and trials. So lots of learning with the new season. Izanami up next, getting a nerf.
Yeah, nerf her, bro. I hate Izanami.
Getting some power scaling reduction.
I hate Izanami. Nerf her. I don't care. This god is so dumb.
Go right with the messaging we just mentioned. Izanami is actually one of those hunters who has been doing quite well. Whether it's the lane clear or the itemization.
She's such a cheesy god, bro, because of her clear.
Could be saying that the hunters are actually doing better.
Get her out of here. She's not fun.
Izanami is the one that's outshining even the other hunters.
Hey, what up from a cubicle? What's up, man? Don't get caught.
I want to admit that she's actually quite strong and ranked as well. We're gonna be toning down her pressure a little bit with spectral projection, and then seeing how she lands up from there.
Good.
Sounds good to me. Another.
I gotta lie, I don't know what spectral projection is, bro.
It is the theme.
Should I know that?
Touched for this balance section here is Mulan and another nerf, Spear Thrust.
Oh, it's the two. Okay, yeah.
A little bit. So why the dual spear?
Okay, I know now.
Well,
I'll forget it tomorrow.
We made it so that Mulan is so OP that she needs to get nerfed. No, I'm kidding. She's really not that OP, but we do want to make sure we see your frustration.
Decrease bait. That's a good nerf. Her one was too strong.
A little bit, right?
Her one was too strong early game. Nerf it.
Which is awesome.
Good.
We love to see these newer characters get their
It's a solid nerf. Solid nerf.
But also, we understand that her having so many abilities, having that extra sustain, that can be a little frustrating. So we want to take down that damage on Spear Thrust, which is her main source of damage. just a tinge to help you guys a little bit with that pressure.
Wait, this is her too. That's what I said, right?
Yeah, and remember that you only see a little bit of the base damage early on. Well, once you get that ranked up and leveled up, you get 2 hits of Spirit Thrust, right?
I said
you're
one.
getting double the nerf if you're ranking up and trading up that.
Yeah, you guys caught me. All right.
Yeah, important things.
Relax, chat.
I get it. I love
knowing this stuff.
To play, so
you don't need to know this stuff, okay?
So that actually does it for the balance section for the bonus update in 9.1. Again, that'll be coming out February 8th, and we do have the bonus balance or the bonus update note blog out. So if you want to see anything, if you miss something, make sure to go check that
I need my math guy now, man.
We have some bonus skins to get into as well.
Is Crusher dead? I'm going Ichabod.
Weaver Arachne. Let's check that out.
I'm going Ichabod.
Is sick. Look at her. She's so
sick.
That bundled up over there. Oh,
Derp
no.
TP. It might be in the in the big patch,
Vulcan?
Ronnie. They haven't done the big patch yet. This is just bonus.
Man, he didn't
Yeah.
deserve that.
No, that's not a good fate.
Ooh.
Oh my
creepier
gosh.
in game. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's
Looks
terrifying.
cool.
Yeah, that is horrifying. The like pulsing green is so freaky.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear what the voice line sounds like.
This planet's life forms are puny and weak. This shall be an easy conquest.
Get it?
Say
Conquest?
so.
Yeah,
All right,
conquest. This shall be an easy. I play arena only.
Hey, it works out though. She's like one of the best gods in conquest in the game, according to the stats.
This will be an easy
True.
slash. No.
This will be
an easy.
Dude, this is gonna be an easy cleage. So
Oh no.
awesome. But yeah, I absolutely love that. Oh my gosh, that's horrifying. So the next skin up is Malware Mercenary Osiris.
Ooh.
Oh, I love his like helmet mask. That is sick.
That's so cool. And the like dread cables, those are
Wow, that
great.
card art
Yeah.
is
I
sick.
also love just like the see-through armor plating.
Hey, he's about to kill a robot.
Oh, is that his
So
passive?
vibrant.
Is that gonna be his passive? Oh my gosh.
Oh, true. That's a very good point.
You're
So you're
probably
gonna see
right.
that throughout the rest of his model as well.
Oh my
Oh, that's
gosh, his
awesome.
arms get
Damn, bro.
That's
That's
So
crazy.
cool. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
I love oranges like
Love the axe. Look at the axe.
Oh
That's
my
sick.
Right?
That's a big axe.
That is a big axe. That's awesome. Let's hear the voice line.
My duty is to protect and kill all who stand in my way.
That's a dope skin.
Oh, God.
Voice pack's good
I
too.
actually got a bit confused. I was like, protect and
And
did we repeat?
protect.
Oh, there we go. I like
That's
it.
so great. Yeah, so this skin and Xenoweaver Arachne are both going to be part of.
But if you think about it, Osiris is cool as hell, man. He has an axe and a sickle.
And then we have one more very important skin to show off.
Or a whip in this
A
case.
little ditty we call
That's really
Fire
freaking
Ditty.
cool.
Oh my goodness, it's time. Oh, there he is.
Look at him.
Bro,
Oh my-
if I get killed by
Yeah, the Vulcan
if I
model.
get killed by this skin, bro,
It's
so
these,
cute.
I might
it's these
uninstall
skins
Smite.
where You hear we're doing it, and you just
I might
kind of
uninstall Smite, bro. If I
mind blown. But you know what? You still want to play it at the end of the day. Like, look at that.
if I get killed by this, dude, yeah, bro. If this skin stands on my corpse and laughs at me, I'm literally quitting the game.
Oh, that is
No
so
joke,
good.
I'm
Let's hear
quitting the
voice
game.
line.
Isn't it a great day for a cookout? I'm ready to get wild!
I hope he is.
You already look wild, dude.
So is he part of the cookout? Like, or is he making one? I don't know.
Bro, how does a skin like this get approved, right? It's funny though.
Cute.
It's just funny, like someone's like, let's make Odin a hot dog.
You can't look
Like,
at something
huh?
like this and not see it live and in action. So let's check this out in game.
Oh.
There he is. There's the boy.
That screen changed and he was looking into my soul.
Yeah. Yeah, can we get his little friend? Is that a
Little
friend?
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's flopping around too.
Look at the
That's
facial
so-
expressions. That's so good.
Yeah, look at how happy he is.
That's phenomenal.
That is so
oh,
good.
Man.
And he's gonna be chucking this at people, right? Like that.
Wow, the
that's just
movement
what
looks
Odin
so
does.
crisp.
Yeah.
Well, first, he's gonna be
So
smacking around
fun.
people with it.
He's gonna be serving up lunch or dinner or whatever.
Oh, look at that!
He's got the
Mustard and ketchup.
mustard.
Bro, look how much damage he does. Oh,
Oh, the
Dude,
effects are. So...
warriors are so
Odin's
broken.
just got lost in the sauce.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's
Really
right. The
bizarre.
passive.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh, the bottle.
The condiment bottles, it's good.
I love every bit of this.
I'm still like mind blown.
Are you ready for the cage though? That's the question.
I haven't seen this.
Oh,
I've only
Gotta be a bunch of hot dogs, right, for the cage?
I haven't seen it either.
Oh,
It's a grill.
He's grilling
it's a
it.
grill.
Oh,
That's
it's a
actually amazing.
it's a
That is
grill.
so good.
That is hilarious.
And all of the big like barbecue.
That's
farts,
a
it's awesome.
grill.
Oh, I do hear that he also has a special emote. Should we check that out?
Oh, I would love to.
There he goes.
What the hell is that? That looks painful, man.
Yeah, okay.
That looks really painful.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that is the one. Not gonna troll down lane with that or anything. Okay, well,
That just that looks like it hurts.
So, again, that's Hot Diggity Odin, part of the Hot Diggity chest, and all of that, including balance, will be coming out February 8th with the 9-1 bonus balance. So, looking forward to that.
Oh,
or
yeah.
not
Absolutely.
getting dominated.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can
All right,
teabag
so
with that
next up,
skin.
my heart's just not ready. We have community news and lots of cool stuff to talk about. One of the first things I want to come out and say is we are so excited to welcome our new group of 2022 Olympians to the stage. We just recently elected them and announced them. So
Yay, Olympians!
Woo! Olympians, they are absolutely amazing, and we are so excited to work with them in 2022. The Olympians have always been a pivotal part of how we connect and communicate with the community, and I just couldn't be more excited to help watch the Smite community grow with our efforts combined this year in 2022. So again, if you have anything you need to reach out about, hit up your Olympians. They are amazing. They help with everything always. And so if you see them on Twitter, make sure to drop a follow. They're just great people, and they're going to help us make Smite the best game it can be in 2022. Next up, I want to remind y'all that the Hellfire Syndicate Battle Pass is still going hard. So make sure that y'all are grinding levels and knocking this out, earning these awesome skins, getting to that Thanatos skin so you can get that white jacket and the dominance. And yeah, it's so pretty. So, and that Poseidon Kraken, I just can't not be enamored by it. So make sure y'all are grinding those levels up and continuing to progress through the Hellfire Syndicate. And finally, I want to let y'all know that we are currently in the Lunar New Year First One of the Day event. It's currently going strong right now. So make sure y'all get a First One of the Day anytime between now and next Monday to earn yourself a free Lunar New Year avatar. It's an awesome looking avatar. I absolutely love it. And all you got to do is get a First One of the Day. So find your game mode and jump in. So next up, we have some SPL news, which I'm excited to share.
Oh, what?
So
SPL news?
An update for
Hold up, let me set up.
It has currently ended, actually, for the SPL, and the rosters will be announced soon. So keep your eyes open for those of y'all
in the coming week. That's this week? Oh, guys.
Next week will be when those are announced, and yeah.
Let's just say I'll be streaming a lot. I'll have a lot more time to stream
there's also a
this year, guys.
That is happening February 16th.
Let's just say I'll have a lot more time to stream this year.
It's a double elimination play-in tournament. You'll watch 10 teams battle it out for 2 coveted spots in the Smite Pro League. So keep your eyes out for information on that as well. Obviously, we'll continue to
Is it F's in chat?
Get a little closer to that, but that'll be a couple weeks from now, and it's going to be exciting and action-packed. So make sure that y'all are stocking up on popcorn and drinks so that you don't have to leave your couch for, 4 days? Yeah, 4 days. That's fine. So last but not least, a little bit of merch.
Did my headset die?
We have the Danzaburo plushie, and I know I've talked about this before. I've ranted about it on Twitter a little bit, but this little dude's adorable. He's huggable and fluffy, and only a little bit mischievous. Only a little bit.
Bro, did my headset just die?
It's so cute, right? So grab yourself one of these. They are available now, and just.
Hello? Can you guys hear me now? You guys can hear me, but you can't hear the thing, right? What happened here? All right. Can you guys hear now? I can hear now. What the heck, man? You got? Oh, hello.
There's going to be some highlighted text for tier 2 relics that are getting some quality of life there.
Wait, could you guys hear them before or no?
Yeah, so we did that for the relic upgrades. But we didn't do it on this tier because the only change is the cooldown. But people still really like to have that called out. So now you have that highlighted text.
Originally, then all audio data. Okay, thank you, Guardian. I can tell high IQ. I can tell.
Free relic to
you're the man, Guardian. Thank you.
To the tier 2. What changes? It gets the cooldown bonus. So when I upgrade it again, you'll see the larger block of text that tells you the special effects you get.
Cool. I mean, always handy for that clarification, right? So the next little bit of quality.
Does it sound okay? You can hear them okay? Do I need to turn it up?
Season 9, with some viewer store stuff and some match and voting stuff. So in the viewer
store,
it
looks like a frat,
have,
bro.
Continue to rotate legacy skins, which will cost 75,000 viewer points each, and a variation of cosmetics as well. That'll be 10k each. And
Don't touch anything.
We will also have a
all right, turn it up. Turn it up a little bit.
We're going to talk about that a little later. Another change with that is match voting in esports. So we're actually having a functionality added to the system that allows for voting on matches that are involved with teams from the SCC. So you should see some more involvement in that. And if y'all have anything I want to add to that.
Yeah, we already did message this, but it cannot hurt to remind people that the points reset will be in the 9.2 patch. So on the day that 9.2 update goes live, that's where your viewer points will be reset.
Perfect. Like my chat. My chat is perfect too.
Enough to buy another skin and the new update rotation. We're also going to be doing some exciting, faster rotating of the skins here in the last few weeks, approaching the reset. So if you haven't found anything you want to get yet with those points and you're worried about spending them before time runs out, keep an eye on the store. It's going to update more frequently in these next few weeks. And then, once you see on 9.2 come out, you will see the viewer store working mostly as you're used to it now, but there will be a new viewer pass skin, a new chase skin, and a new rotation plan. So,
bro, Ajax's sweater is fire, bro. Look at it.
Is one you're gonna want.
It's like Inception.
You're getting those double points all year because you're just gonna have that skin.
There's no way you won't. We'll have this. We'll have the skin that we're going to show off later.
Points will reset to 75k.
Here we are talking about this is the welcome pass actually. So AJ, if you want to take this away, we're adding a new feature called welcome pass. So go for it.
Yeah, this Cerberus recolor here that we're looking at is part of the new welcome pass. This is a new feature designed for new players, and the goal here is to reward players for every match they play Smite when they first start playing Smite. This is going to give them some new types of things they can use when they're getting started on their journey, like boosters to help them, increase their worshippers, or to look at how they just kind of learn how the parts of the game work. Right? We want them to see about, okay, this is experience. This is what matters for your level, and of course, we want them to see what it's like to have a god skin. So these are going to be exclusive skins that you can only earn by unlocking them through this welcome pass. There's going to be 20 levels. Every match you play, you will level up a level and unlock a reward. Now, of course, I'm sure, as many people out there are wondering, is what about us that have been playing the game for a long time? Everybody who is playing Smite will have access to the welcome pass on the day that 9.2 update goes live. Doesn't matter if you've been playing Smite for 10 years or if it's your first day, you will be able to play through the welcome pass. The unique thing with the welcome pass is that it has a unique timer for everybody. So in the time you log in, that's when your welcome pass will start, and you'll have 30 days to complete it. So if you do log in on 9.2, you don't play very many games, you don't come back for a while, you might miss out on the welcome pass. So, but all new accounts that get created, they will kind of by default, they will see this welcome pass when they load into the game. There will also be some new UI callouts to help guide new players to the welcome pass and to find things like the Learn tab and other things like that as they start their Smite journey. And, we just trying to create more smooth entry for new players into the game.
Good chat, man.
Yeah, and it's super exciting. Glad to have. We love creating things that benefit all of our players, from the veterans to the new players, and it's exciting to be able to add kind of this, like you said, this startup for people who are just brand new to Smite and kind of learning what it feels like to be part of this community. So
I don't know, Bobby. That's
allow
a great
them the opportunity to see some of the stuff that we do
show us Shiva
more intimately, and
show us Shiva.
Reward them for coming in, for joining us, and we love having them here. I just think it's super cool. I'm excited to see this go live.
Yeah, for sure. And it's got some close connectivity to some other things we're doing. So we're adding a new feature to the welcome pass where you'll actually be able to get a reward that lets you pick any one god in the entire game you want for free, which is kind of something we've always wanted to do. We had like a level up reward where you could pick from 3 random gods, but this will actually let players pick any god they want for free, which we think is a good way to get players really enjoying the game, is let them play a god they want for free. We also are going to be doing major updates to the end of match lobby to go along with this. One of the things, feedback we've always gotten with the end of match lobby is that when you get all of your unlocks, or your acquisitions as we often call them, there's a pop-up that gives you a list of what they all are and where they came from. But once you click through this, it disappears.
I hope Shiva's OP. It's going to be good for the game, guys. Right? Shiva's a massively popular
you'll be
deity.
Able to look at that longer, take your
in the
time
world.
to read it more specifically, especially for new players.
Bring a lot of eyes to the game. I hope he's OP.
Requeue. You can requeue from that screen. You won't even have.
I hope he's so much fun to play too.
Hit the requeue for those people who get frustrated at us because they see that clock ticking down 3, 2, 1 for the next queue, and they don't want to even learn about that amazing skin they just unlocked, which is crazy. But I understand. You can just queue right through it. But
good. That's
players
good.
who are more curious about where the rewards are coming from and what they are,
He's a warrior.
look at it. It will save it as a permanent tab. So if you do click through it, you go to your end of match lobby, you see your god dancing in victory, you'll be able to toggle back to the new rewards tab to see what you earned from that match and where it came from. So just some quality of life there, and making things a little bit more clear on how you unlock things in Smite, and just making sure people can appreciate all the cool stuff they're unlocking instead of just clicking through it really quick, and once it's gone, it's gone. So very excited. The UI team and design team have been working really hard on this one, and I think it looks great.
Super awesome. That's great. And it looks like the last piece of quality of life change that we're going to be talking about here is some new player experience adjustments and fixes. So stuff like bots and co-op and conquest auto build. So I mean, what changes are being made there?
Yeah, we essentially just had some bugs. We had an issue in the new season, which is, with changing so many items, we can kind of throw the auto buy system out of whack. So it's a difficult time for that. But we had some bugs where bots were not buying items as intended, and new players were often not buying starter items or getting the right conquest builds. They were just getting like non-conquest.
Use the music on the end game screen. Yeah, that would be
it's
good quality of life
to ever make an auto buy that truly follows the meta as fast as it can and builds the perfect thing on every god in every matchup. But we do want it to be a reasonably usable build for new players, so that they at least have some of the items and stats that their god and class should have for their role. So some fixes to that, as well as updates to things like the jungle the conquest guides and things like that are very great to use.
Awesome. Well, yeah, and that's quality of life. So those changes and any changes that we make quality of life and anything like that will be on the update notes, which are live now. So if you want to follow along or feel like you missed something,
man, I'm so sad about Crusher.
Find everything there, but those will all be going live with 9.2. And next up we have bug fixes as well. Just some of the things that we found between 9.1 or just that we've known about and we've worked on that we're fixing up. So let's start with UI. It looks like there's a console navigation error that we fixed. So what was that?
Yeah, so a few things to note is obviously new season, a lot of big stuff. So there was a lot of stuff we were focusing on. A lot of the biggest bugs that have been fixed are already fixed. They've been hot fixed, so to say. Some of those are still mentioned in the patch notes, just so people can make sure they see them. But like issues with Xbox, having issues on Conquest, that has been fixed already. But we also wanted to call out a few more fixes that are coming in 9.2, and this is just a small selection of them. There will be a longer list on the patch notes, but just a few that people are really concerned about. So the console commendation screen, we know that for you controller players, that was not the best experience. That was not our intent. We had it working, so we thought, but as can happen, something went wrong and changed the flow of that screen. So that is being fixed in 9.2. So that'll be a much better experience for all players on console.
If my bath guy gets back to me, tells me Devos is now better, I'll probably go Devos, Oboe, chin size, Silver Branch.
And then it looks like there are a couple little god fixes as well. Some animation changes on a few people, and then
that'll probably be the build.
So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so Morgan Le Fay was having some interesting anim blending issues where she was strafing and attacking. It would kind of snap.
The matter with Atalanta's just not that good of an item.
Morgan, Hera and Chang'e were clipping through in strange ways, so those have been fixed. And Gilgamesh was
get to the juice. So is Shiva,
chest, and it was just empty.
Wait a second, there's nothing here.
It was a mimic. No, but yeah, I don't know what was going on with that, but. We have fixed that
I'll be right back 1 second, chat.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a big too bad, but those worn boots and worn shoes that were in the store for level 21 unlock? Yeah, those are no longer going to be in the game because Gilgamesh was not happy about that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we are removing the boots reminder and the boots of legacy, the
Yeah.
legacy boots message, but apparently Gilgamesh was finding those on occasion, which is strange because before season 8, or season 9, I don't think he was, but
I guess season 9 came, he started questing a little too hard, found some hidden treasure, and we just had to be like, all right, sorry, dog, not today.
yeah.
So, all right, and the last couple little bug fixes we want to talk about are item related. A couple description changes and re-enabling the Emblem of Peril. So get into that one.
Yeah, so Nimble Rod of Tahuti, Hide of the Nemean Lion, and Jotun's Ferocity, as well as a few other items, are going to have description passes to make their passives more clear. Apologize for our abbreviated text here. But
yeah,
we did a pass on a couple of descriptions we saw with the new season. Some of the items, people had some extra questions. You know, Jotun's Ferocity, people were asking how long the mark lasts. Yep. That'll be mentioned there. Nimble Rod had a cap, a power cap that was intended, so that's described there. As well as things like Rod and Nemean Line, what types of power and protections are being used for the calculation, all being described.
I get a water
so
and
also,
a protein bar.
Yeah, the horrific emblem upgrade was one of the upgrades was just not functioning at all, unfortunately. Through some bug fixing in the PTS, we actually broke it worse, which happens on occasion. So that was completely disabled for the 9.1 patch, but now will be fixed and returned. So. A lot of good bug fixes, a lot of good feedback from our players during PTS and Season 9 to help us get these smaller issues ironed out, and things will be looking good for 9.2.
Yeah, and that's it for the bug fixes that we're talking about. Again, there's plenty more that we've worked on and worked out on the update notes. Make sure you check those out, and make sure that y'all keep bringing these to our attention. There is not a single person within Titan Force that I've talked to who hasn't been like, yeah, we want people to have fun. We want this game to feel good for like everybody. So, whether you play console, PC, whatever, like,
all right,
y'all let us know that there's an issue. It helps us.
Is it
so
Shiva
much,
time
especially
yet?
if you're more in depth. Like, hey, when I'm on this menu and I hit triangle while moving the stick, like if you give us all the info to figure it out, we're gonna figure it out because
triangle. I don't have any triangle on my keyboard.
To be as fun as it can be. So thank y'all for all the help with these bugs.
Yeah, bad joke. Bad joke.
So next up, we have some map changes coming with 9.2, and there's a good number of them, especially on Conquest. A lot of little balance changes here and there, some timing. So let's just dive right into it. Let's talk about
really good change here.
Well, there is quite a few things here.
Yeah, there is. I mean, y'all can break it up. Y'all,
the Draugr Harpy Camp trio is now a single alpha Harpy. That's good because it was really snowbally.
This first page, then Clumsy, you can do the next one. So the first thing we're going to be doing is adjusting the Draugr Harpy Camp.
Good, because it was really snowballing.
Harpy, that's an Elder and 2 minor Harpies. That is worth quite a lot of experience, and it's relatively easy to kill. So what we were seeing there was what I was talking about before. Snowballing in that lane, and that's going to be a bit of a theme today. We saw in the new season map that people were able to gain pretty big advantages over their opponents pretty early on in the game. So we're going to be
level 20 is 16 minutes.
Just kind of slow down
kind of ridiculous
golden experience curve across the season 9 Conquest map. First thing is going to be that Harpy Camp. It's being replaced to a single Alpha Harpy, which are harder to kill and easier to contest because it's just one camp, so the opponent can come up and last hit it from you if you're not careful. And they apply that attack speed debuff, and they're going to be worth a little bit less total XP and gold. We're also adjusting the jungle spawn timers. We're making 2 specific delays. Did you want to talk about this one, Clumsy?
Yeah, for sure. So with the new season of Conquest, everyone's going to be working really diligently to try and find out what the optimal start is, and whether that's going to be playing out over time or not. There's been a lot of consensus on, we want to make sure that the jungler's not hitting level 2 too quickly by themselves solo and coming in even before the other laners are hitting level 2 and, ganking them within just a few seconds of the game start. So there is a popular start right now, and that might be helpful to learn for reference, where the jungler and mid are starting at speed camp together. Now, that's not what everyone's doing, right? We can see starts still that are lingering from Season 8, where the jungler by themselves are doing speed into back camp, or even with the solo laner. The change here is we're actually going to be delaying that initial back camp from 15 seconds after the match starts to 30 seconds. This way, the option for the jungler, if they want to go solo, to do speed camp into back camp, to hit level 2 very quickly before the other laners, is no longer going to be a viable option. It's going to require the junglers and everyone who really wants to try and optimize the map to try and find their best rotation now. But this way, we solve the problem for now, at least until you guys find a way to break it again, of the jungler hitting level 2 too quickly before everyone else is, and kind of creating a really volatile start to the game. We're going to be looking at this, of course, intensely.
I don't think that changes the start right now, right? I think it changes some cheese stuff, right? But the start's still going to be green, speed to red to lane for the jungle mid.
Having some touches made to it. So what's going on with the obelisk?
Yeah, so the general idea with the obelisk is we're just kind of toning down its total impact in a couple different places. This was able to give
increase the team's gold and XP or per offering
of team gold.
So
that's
good.
Up to an amount of gold per person on your team when it completed. What we like about the obelisk is that both teams get gold. So if one team is filled up 100% and the other team is filled up 70%, both teams still get gold, and it's a little closer. What that was still doing, though, is if a team was way ahead and the other team had nothing, they were getting a really big lead from that. And it was also just injecting a little bit too much gold into the whole conquest mode a little too quickly. And what we often see when players have too much gold too quickly is actually that damage characters tend to take off faster than tanky characters. So these changes...
I've never seen that. Hold on. I've never seen that.
Slowing down
excuse me,
mode just a little bit in its XP and gold game.
Never seen that part. Tank characters always take off.
DPS
broken
damage output. Because
there's some big cap right there. The heck am I listening to?
Gold. So we're also decreasing the amount of damage that Indra's Scepter can do to enemy gods, which is pretty significant. It can do quite a lot.
It can be quite a lot, yeah.
We're glad that it's a potent and
Scepter's pretty broken.
It's a hard thing to gather and it has to be shared. By
pretty freaking strong.
So we wanted it to be impactful, but it was just a little too strong. And we're also making it a little bit harder to invade.
These are some good changes on the obelisk.
Obelisk offerings could be
These
really
are good
powerful
changes.
strategy.
These are good changes.
So we want you to have some risk reward there. So you're going to be taking more damage from the obelisk if you attempt to steal those.
That sounds good. I'm still learning how to play with the obelisk, honestly. Like it's such a change that I'm like, all right, like make sure I grab the offering, make sure I go back and get that buff. So these kind of stuff it'll help me adapt more as well, that I'm not being insta-killed by it.
Focus on the obelisks. That's what I'll tell you to do. If you think you're falling behind in Conquest and you don't know why, you should be paying more attention to the obelisks. They're worth a lot. But we'll be toning that down a little bit in 9.2, which I think will still make them valuable, just not as game deciding as they are.
Awesome. Sounds good. So the last bit of map change that we want to talk about is Slash is having some changes made to the Wild Juggernaut stat scaling values. Clumsy, you want to get into that for me?
Yeah, I think the most important thing here is it's really focusing on the Wild Juggernauts, and we're making sure that as the game goes on, they just scale appropriately.
Slash, I know nothing about
to
Slash.
the other monsters in the game. So whether it's the health, the physical power, or the different protections, meaning for the protection side, right? We're increasing them from 0 to 4 and 1, respectively, for the protection. So they're going to scale a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit, harder to kill, or at least a little bit more of a challenge as the game goes on.
Awesome. Sounds good. I mean, I love pushing with the Juggernauts anyway, so having them be as tanky as I am when I'm running it down as Atlas, that'll be good.
And let me just say that the Slash support has been really huge. Really much appreciation to everybody out in the community who's played the game mode. We've seen a lot of fun debates about, is it too much Clash? Is it not enough Siege? Is it what people like?
It's not that good to use. It's just not as high damage as other items.
Extremely
plain and simple, my friend.
So whatever you're reading people say or commenting about the game mode, that's definitely important. That means one thing, but what we have seen is this mode, a lot of people are playing this mode. A lot of people. It's doing much better than Siege plus Clash plus a new season bonus. It's doing much more people than even all that are playing it. So
that's good. It's good that Slash is a success.
Thing to do. It's been a long time since we've done it, so it's really interesting to do it in kind of the modern era of Smite and just kind of see what effects it has. So we're going to keep it a close eye on Slash. We're going to keep monitoring the play count and the balance of it, and make sure we take care of it, because it is the premier casual mode for season 9, and I think it's been really fun. I've been playing it pretty much nonstop so far. So
same.
I'm a little biased, but it is really fun, and I see the numbers, and all you out there are playing it too. So thank you.
I just love starting on the side with mouth portals, because every time there's a Juggernaut, I'm like, all right, I got it back so I can go through the mouth portal. So it's very important to me.
That level of comms is very important.
I love them so much. All right, so cool. Again, all of this is coming out on February 22nd with update 9.2. But now let's get into the balance section.
Yes, finally, the juice.
So,
let's go.
The first item that's getting touched is persistent teleport. Looks like it's getting a nerf to the cooldown.
Yes, so this one was one that was on our radar during PTS and the beginning of the season, but we didn't really see that much use of it until just the last few days, so it did miss the bonus balance. It's going to be in the main patch, even though it's a nerf. But persistent teleport, we're glad to see some teleport options becoming viable again, because most of last year they just felt really weak. So we want this one to be viable. We would prefer
that teleport is definitely broken,
but we are seeing it some on support. We're even seeing it some as a second pickup in hunters and assassins.
Hunters, I'll never
purposes,
touch it.
That's where we're trying to.
Oh, split push stuff.
We're trying to nerf those types of players who are using the teleport in that way.
Don't be a split push Andy chat.
It's that powerful in that
Gross.
way yet, but we have seen it quite often, and we have seen it could be a source of frustration. So we want the kills and assist part of this relic to still be impactful. So we're just nerfing the base cooldown first.
Cool. Well, yeah, makes me a little sad because I love taking this solo lane. It's like I'd get starter and upgrade the relic all the way. That way, it's just like, all right, well, I messed that fight up, but I can get back to lane pretty quick. So
yeah, Ronnie,
it's nice when you can do that.
It is, especially if you're like me and you don't win one-on-one super often. So next up we have Aegis of Judgment, also getting a nerf. Looks like the damage cap is being touched a little bit. So what's happening with that?
Yeah. So there's two main components here, and of course we talked about the chaotic beads in the bonus balance section. This is kind of the other half of a defensive relic that's getting its offensive capabilities in the upgrade toned down a little bit, and that's twofold. The damage cap will be changing from 30% to 20%, but the other really important thing is it's no longer going to be factoring in from your character's max health. It's going to be from the target's character's max health. So
good. That's a good change. Good.
Again, with all these changes, we're going to keep
That's
an
good.
eye out on it.
Because now tanks do less damage to carries, and carries do more damage to tanks.
Throughout this last few weeks, and
good.
If we need to nerf that some more, we'll go ahead and do it.
Good.
Awesome. Next up, it looks like Calamitous Rod. Also,
that's a very good change for carries.
A little bit. So it's decreasing the warm-up time a little bit and the magical power scaling a little bit as well. What's happening with that, AJ?
Yeah, so this relic, sorry, not relic, glyph. We've seen quite a lot of purchase of it. We also saw quite a lot of discussion in the preseason and midseason, or PTS and 9-1, that it wasn't very impactful. So what we've got here is a little shift. We are speeding up the actual damage area time. So
it's good for burst.
That was a deployable.
But the thing is, it can miss. It comes down from the sky, and it can actually miss.
5 to 1 seconds, which is a pretty significant change. That's like yeah, so that's a 33% faster, right? So that's much more likely to hit its target. But because of that, we did want to take the damage just down a little bit.
It's an interesting change.
But the main thing we want to focus on Calamitous Rod is make it a little bit more reliable first. Once we feel like it's actually reliable and showing up in more builds and being used, then we can kind of calibrate its damage from there. But just to be safe, taking a little nerf right up front.
Because even with the previous iteration of Calamitous Rod of 2D, we saw a lot of people, theorizing that it might be only viable on certain mages who can definitely proc that, the warm-up time. We're saying, Nox is now significantly better. Now it's going to be a little bit more applicable on for a variety of mages. But believe me, I did a lot of testing this myself. That 40% scaling, when it hit hard. So that's why
true. Late game, that thing can hit for like 500, 600.
Damage nerf down the line, but let's get it reliable first.
Fair enough. It is scary. So. Looks like Bluestone Pendant receiving a buff, a little bit of HP 5 bump. So what's going on with that?
Bluestone.
This is going to be just a tiny
buff for tanks,
but it's
as
going to be
usual.
in parity with the nerfs coming from the Warriors Act, right? So obviously we saw a lot of popularity on that starter item. Now with that nerf and the buff for Bluestone, we think it's going to be a little bit closer in comparison to one another, because those are usually the options with Sigil, of course, that you're going to see. Bluestone, of course, we want to be very, very careful because we've got the options not just in the solo lane or in Warriors, but you've got Hunters that might be picking it up. You've even got Junglers who might want to get it as well. So just a small change to the HP 5 and survivability on that one.
He said it was already coming back in solo, and I think we're going to really see it now, which is going to be a good shakeup for the meta.
Yeah, I like it a lot, so shiny Blue Rock fan. So next up, Stone of Binding getting a buff as well.
No, that item is broken. No way they buffed this item, dude.
Why, Ajax?
All right, so Stone of Binding is a really highly statted item for its cost, actually.
Yeah, it's OP,
duh. Item in the game. Fun fact, we've mostly designed away from all of those because they had different problems, and I think that made sense. Stone of Binding is the only one that remains because it's a support item, which I think makes sense too, why it can still be around, because supports are generally the
Stone of Binding's a good item.
Good about giving them a lot of stats for relatively cheap.
Small buff, but
other gods can't use this item too much.
I don't like playing against Stone of Binding because it gives flat pen.
But it's pretty rare. We wanted to bring this up as
makes me really squishy,
viable support option. So just increasing the protections a little bit on both magical and physical, make this item feel a little bit better to build, make you a little bit tankier if you do choose to build it on support, which is already you're making an aggressive pivot away from like a full tank item. So this will make that a little bit more.
That's a pretty good buff, man.
Awesome. I'm a tank person, so I'm all about it. Next up, Titan's Bane getting a buff, being more of a Bane, it sounds like. Physical power and passive item cooldown getting touched on. So
small buff.
Why the Bane increase, Clumsy?
So we did the nerf earlier on, like we talked about from Crusher in the bonus balance section. And
Yeah, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that, Clumsy? Why'd you nerf Crusher?
The number of options that kind of are viable with it. Serrated Edge is kind of a competitor to Titan's Bane that you see, very often. And instead of nerfing Serrated Edge because we think it's in a good spot, we wanted to bring Titan's Bane to be a little bit more competitive with it. So a little bit of power, decreased passive cooldown. That'll allow you to maybe actually get off 2 different procs of the passive in maybe one fight. We think that'll hopefully make it a little bit closer in comparison to other items.
Cool. And last but not least on items for 9-2, looks like Relic Dagger isn't quite as sharp as it used to be, getting a little bit of a nerf onto the cooldown reduction it provides to Relic. So,
Relic Dagger is sharper than ever with all these powerful new relics, right? So with relics that are
this is a good nerf,
as well as
this is smart nerf.
Have ways to level up and get lower cooldowns on them, it made
Relic
Dagger possibilities really powerful. So we're going ahead and nerfing this just a little bit. I think it's very possible this item is still going to be a top pick, potentially in multiple roles with the new relics this season.
Can they buff Cal, please?
We'll keep an eye on it, but just to be safe, we went ahead and applied this nerf just to that passive factor.
Just a little bit.
So this is another 10 seconds, so total 30-second nerf to those split pusher teleporters.
Exactly. That's the good point, right? Because people thought the persistent teleport nerf wasn't enough. Now you have a double hit on this kind of an item build. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, no super epic 50-second teleport for me. Oh well. So that does it for items in 9-2. That is going to be the balance.
No Cal buff.
Leave that. Make sure to check out the update notes for live now, coming out February 22nd. But we have some God balance to talk about. Starting with Jing Wei getting a buff. It looks like,
my girl.
Gust and explosive bolts. So
let's go. Ooh, Jing Wei.
So we did the nerf to crit damage in 9.1, and with that, obviously there's gonna be a lot of
nerfed crit damage
in various degrees in their kits.
Nerfing hunters all last year.
That strong or that popular. We expected maybe in SWC with the worlds coming in, people might default some of these safer hunters, but we didn't even see that with Jing Wei. So we obviously hit her with some nerfs before that was the case. Now we're going to be bringing her back and addressing her cooldowns over other.
This patch particularly will come out in a month.
Find already a lot of strength. So hopefully with persistent gust and explosive bolts, cooldown reductions, you'll be able to use her in a little bit more of a variety of situations.
Focusing on her aggression and damage as well, as opposed to her safety, and being careful not to buff that, which we know is already a strong aspect of the goddess.
True. Flying away from things feels very good when you actually, nail it. So, Hera up next as well, getting a buff. Polymorph and Argus, the Defender, are also getting touched there, getting a little bit of a buff. So, why is Hera getting stronger, Ajax?
We have not seen much of Hera recently, so we're just looking to bring up a few more mages. That
Hera's a dangerous god, bro. She can easily be broken.
Mid-mage god pool.
She can easily be OP. This is a pretty good buff.
Polymorph.
Making Argus tankier is pretty good.
Powerful CC effect. But it's also
flat damage buff to the 2 is always good. Always a good buff for mages.
A little bit more
flat damage is always a good buff.
Make sure that item actually feels like a mage ability and give her some poke potential. Also, Argus is getting buffs to his late game protection scaling. Argus is really scary in the early game, and getting hit by the Argus drop is still really powerful in the late game.
Yeah.
But a lot of times in the late game, he just gets shredded by the enemy hunter or someone and gets taken down really quick. So buffing up his protections in the late levels just to make sure he's around on the battlefield for a little bit longer.
This is a pretty good buff on her. I'll expect to see her picked a little bit, a little bit more.
Yeah,
or at least try it out.
Argus sees a max level hunter and he's Argon, so I think that's worth it. So next up, this one is scary and I don't like it. Bakasura getting a buff to eat minion or eat me, I guess usually. So why Clumsy?
Well, so Bakasura when he gets online can be pretty scary, but he's one of those gods where unless you kind of are used to playing with as him, he struggled for a very long time. Let's put it that way. And eat minion's one of those abilities that you it's a very singular purpose. As you use that in lane, it's not in the lane. Well, you can actually use it in lane.
I don't like Baka
specifically.
Not a fan of Baka buffs in general. Knowing character,
but outside of that, you have to utilize his in hands for the most part. But now we wanted to, we were really looking at what kind of an interesting dynamic we can bring, and not just extra stats like we would put.
It is a cool buff. I agree. It is a cool buff.
Now, Eat Minion is going to be subtracting the cooldowns from your one.
I like it. I like it when you do changes like this, right? Like you eat a minion reduces the cooldown of the 3. Like I like that. Those kind of changes.
He did make a change, I believe, whether it was last year or before that, where Bakasura can eat the minions from his ultimate. So you're always going to have that chance, as long as you're in a team fight, to actually make use of this cooldown reduction. So. It should be a pretty interesting new change for Bakasura, and I'm sorry, Dandy, but we might see a couple more of him in games.
Yeah, probably see those people who know how to make him as horrifying as he deserves to be show back up in my Conquest games. Cool. Awesome, though. Still good for Bakasura players. Ratatosker up next, getting a buff as well. Bristlebush Acorn looks like it's having some of its stats nudged a little bit. So what's with the stat buff, AJ?
Right, in the great rebalancing of crit, there was plenty of comments and discussion about Ratatosker and his crit Acorn. This Acorn was quite popular when it first came out, but it's not exactly the most powerful Acorn, but it can be really fun to go full burst damage Ratatosker in the jungle. And it's definitely falling behind now with the other crit adjustments, so it needed its fair share of buffs. So what you're seeing is a 5% increase.
It seems like okay. I don't really think it's gonna change anything.
And basic attack damage that he gets after hitting someone with his dart ability. So
dart. I'm sorry. The
god.
Acorn Blast is just too
Acorns,
strong. That
always an
Acorn
interesting balance
for the
decision
5
of what's gonna be
acorns.
the best, what's going to be his
That's just too
preferred
strong. No way
role.
people go this.
Makes him really flexible. Right now, I think
Especially with the crit
Ratatosker
nerf.
plays better as a pseudo tank or a more utility jungler, but we wanted to make sure he had that full damage option available to him.
Sounds good. And I lost my composure there because for some reason the words crit Acorn just hit me really hard for some reason. That's just fun to say. So cool. Next up was like Kumakarna is having a buff as well to Mighty Yawn. So he's even sleepier now.
Oh.
Why is that, Clumsy?
So Kumakarna is one of those guardians.
OP, what the
You
heck?
hate to love or you love to hate, right?
Yeah,
These ones where
fair.
when he was a very effective, whether it's in Conquest or in Arena.
2 seconds
you definitely
early
can feel
game.
it, but he's also one of the ones that
Jesus.
if you get your damage off, if you use all of your abilities in
And he might be really good at trading
you're not
in
only
the
CCing
jungle.
enemies for a long time, but you're also doing a lot of damage even with the normal Guardian build. So we wanted to find ways that we can increase his utility, increase how strong he is without really addressing his frustration.
That's
factor
quite
too much. And
strong.
one part that really stood out was the Mighty
Quite strong
Yawn.
in their early
Specifically,
trades.
It's early game rank.
Like imagine if I'm
and the debuff you
Kurnos
apply
and I have a
when you wake
Kumba
up
with me,
and
right?
it's
And he
going
just
like
goes
that.
in there and
So
he
change
yawns
maybe
them and then I
we scale-
dash
we
in.
used to scale from 1 to 2
Right? They're gonna
seconds. Now
be
it's just
so
2 seconds
slow
at all
for
ranks.
2
So late game,
seconds.
It's still going to be the
That's-
same
that's-
potency as you were
that could be
having
pretty
before,
good trade.
But a 1-second debuff for
That could be
a
pretty
utility
powerful
effect
there.
is very low early on. So we're just kind of keeping it at that flat amount.
Will they present Shiva today? They will, yeah.
Awesome. Next up,
I can see that being a pretty
Terra is
decent
getting
buff.
a buff. It's already very buff.
Will that make him get played? I'm
to
not sure.
Monolith. Looks
But
like the cooldown is getting
I could
decreased
see
a
the
little bit.
potential.
So what's going on there, Ajax?
Right, so this ability is probably a monolith
Terra buff,
relic
interesting.
result from her old meta days,
Yeah.
still hanging around. This is a very
18
long
seconds.
cooldown for a regular ability, but it is a powerful ability. It combos with Terra's other abilities. Terra was pretty strong throughout a lot of the year, but we did make that change with her ability.
Yeah, I
to
feel like she was a pretty
collapse
balanced god.
burst
I'm not
damage
gonna lie.
stones while also shattering.
I
them,
kind of
which
feel like
gave her a
Terra was
double
balanced.
Stun bonus damage effect all at once. That was removed because it was not
She was
intended.
picked.
Even though it was,
She's even been banned a couple times, but she's never been like,
their design there, so that would not be possible.
Prioritized.
Which brought down Terra's priority, especially.
I felt like she was
for
pretty
playing
balanced.
quite a bit. So doing
That's
our best
okay.
to bring
I mean,
her
it's a
back
small
up.
buff.
Want to be safe though, because we know this god has a pretty strong potential to dominate pro metas pretty quickly. So starting with just a small cooldown buff, and we'll see where she goes from here.
Sounds good. Speaking of buff, we have one last buff god getting a buff for this section here, and that's
Buffing Hercules!
looks like a little bit of a buff to Earthbreakers.
What?
Power scaling.
Doesn't need more
why is he
damage.
even more buff, Clumsy?
Well, the problem was,
What?
Hercules going into the season, even for the ending of the last, he wasn't hitting the gym as much as he thought he was.
Fair
His
enough.
stats were a little bit on the lower end. Maybe it's winter. We're not sure what it was, but Hercules is also one of those characters where when he's strong, you feel when he's strong. So addressing Earthbreaker, something that he uses in the combo of his other abilities, increasing it by 10% scaling. We've said it many times, Warriors kind of
All right.
live and die by just the 10%. So we're hoping this is going to bring him to a level that we feel is a little bit more balanced and kind of not overtuned. Obviously, we've got the Bluestone buffs coming in as well.
Herc's
so-
one of those gods that you just want him to
course,
stay
yeah.
out of
I
the
mean,
meta. You know
We're
what I mean?
shipping him a case of protein and some words of encouragement, and by 9-2, he's probably going to be a little stronger. So, cool. Well, that does it for all of the updates, all of the balance in 9-2. All of those are going to be going live again. With
the patch was
update 9-2
okay.
on February 22nd.
I think
So
the
keep your
obelisk
eyes
changes
out
were
for that.
good.
If you feel like you missed
Teleport
anything,
nerf
you
was
wanna go back
needed.
and reread
Don't like that they
what
nerfed
buff your
Crusher.
favorite god was getting.
Didn't understand. I
Hop over
thought
to the
Crusher was a
update
very
notes. That's where
balanced
you're gonna be
item.
able to see that stuff.
No
And,
one, no
yeah,
one
all
was
the
saying
info spread out
Crusher
for
was
you there.
OP.
So next up, we have
Like they
another
do with
super
other
fun
items.
segment I'm excited to
You know
go
what I mean?
through, and that is skins with 9-2.
whatever. Just a weird nerf in my
we're gonna
opinion.
have a couple additional guests here with me as well for the 9-2 skins. I'm excited to get into this. And we're going to be starting with the Lumi chat. Well, here, might as well introduce our guests first. How silly of me. So we have Kitten of Doom and Palagoon. So hi, welcome y'all.
Hey, how's it going?
So glad to be here.
Super happy to have y'all. Y'all having a good day today?
Pretty good, pretty busy, but good.
Yep, super excited to get into these skins. They're so good.
I was about to say, I hope if it's a good day, it's only going to get better because these skins are awesome. Starting with Lunar Moth.
I just don't think Crusher was like an item that anyone complained about, you know?
Lunar Moth is hiding from us, apparently. There she is.
Oh, is that disco?
My goodness.
I love it.
Kind of
Look
cool.
at her
Great color scheme.
Yeah.
Look at her little moth friend as her apple.
That's some white ass teeth, though.
You can tell it's Discordia because, like, look at that rabbit throwing a haymaker at the other rabbit.
That's
Oh
some
my
shiny
goodness.
whites.
They are throwing down back there.
They are.
Still cool though,
Having
aesthetically.
discourse in the forest.
Oh, I love it.
Damn, she looks cool.
Wow.
That's so cool. The detail on the wings.
Yeah, it's mesmerizing.
Wow.
Colors are beautiful. Her heels.
The true right, those heels show off. I guess it's easier to wear heels when you can float, though. So, all right, let's hear the voice line.
All I have to do is focus on what I'm doing and to not get distracted by the light. It's harder than it looks.
If we work together, I know we can save the world.
I sense my foes. Perhaps
Okay.
their strength will humor me.
What?
A
The
lot of lines
universe
there.
is so
Okay, that was obviously different
Yeah,
skins.
true. We're teasing stuff that we're just about to show you anyway. So
Okay, no,
but that's super awesome. Absolutely love that. And yeah, Moth
I thought it was her like little
so
pet
we
that
have
was
to make sure that people
speaking
Soul
when it
is
was
gonna
the
be a big
second.
competitor because she's made of.
You know what I mean? When the second voice came, I thought it was like the pet. I was like the little chipmunk speaks.
So next up, it looks like we're going to have the Mystic Moon chest with Mystic Moon Tsukuyomi. So let's see what Tsukuyomi's bringing to the battleground.
Oh.
Oh no, he's hot.
Just,
There
just
he
in time
is.
for Lunar New Year. We've got him decked out with all the lunar symbology and everything.
Yeah. Oh,
Wow.
very cool.
The weapons are awesome.
That's pretty cool.
True. Look at that hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty
He's-
cool.
He's one of our pretty boys coming up. He looks awesome.
He does. I love his weapons, just the colors being the purple and the blue. I absolutely love
Yeah,
it.
they pop.
They-
Yeah, for sure.
They
Work
do
really
pop.
well together.
They do. All right, let's hear the voice line.
If we work together, I know we can save the world.
You're ready to save the world. This one.
That's
Or,
all
you
they
know,
got.
just-
That's all they got. Great voice line. All right, next.
Awesome. So absolutely love this skin. Looking forward to
Yeah,
it.
the trim on all this armor. There's like a lot of intricate detail. For any players looking at him in the lobby, they're gonna have a lot to take in.
Right, gonna hop into that
We
god
always
maze,
just-
flip to
we
the
use
skin, and
Discord
just
as
spin it
way
around
around
100 times and really soak it, like you said.
Literally
all
one
the
line
detail.
from every new skin was.
So next up, we
was
have
being
the
played in
Dark
the-
Era
when they
event.
showed the
There will be
Discordia
two new
skin.
skins coming in 9-2, starting with Oni Huntress Artemis.
Ooh,
So let's see Artemis. Ooh.
This card
Yeah.
art.
that's
Oh,
cool.
That's awesome.
That is
That's so
so-
cool.
Got the
Wow, she is
Oni.
beautiful.
the boar throne there.
True.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I thought the
That's
demon
good.
head
Just
was
had
the
a
boar
hard
for
day
a
at work.
second.
He's chilling.
I thought
Yeah,
the
it's a
demon
big-
head
it's a
was the
big
boar
shoes for taking down that Oni.
until I saw the boar behind her.
Look at how sleepy that big old boy is.
Nice.
awesome.
Yeah,
Wow.
that silk really pops too. I love that.
Yeah, it does.
The silk pants look amazing.
I love the ribbon too, the way it kind of sways, or not the ribbon, the bow. Oh, I absolutely love it. Let's hear the voice line.
I sense my foes. Perhaps their strength will humor me.
So she's not playing games; she's here to hunt and win, and game over. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm such a nerd for any like demon or Oni skin we've done. They work so well in the Smite.
She looks so
universe.
comfortable standing like that.
I
Yeah,
couldn't agree more. Yeah, I think
definitely
that's
does.
awesome.
That's a
So the
wide
next
stance.
one coming with the Dharmic Era event is going to be Crystalline Chaos Nuwa. So let's see the chaos.
Another Nuwa skin.
Oh, that's awesome.
So excited for this one. Is
That does not look
gorgeous.
like a Nuwa skin, right?
Very main.
But it looks
bad
cool.
guy
Yeah,
looking.
I agree. It kind of.
Very... Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
It's just very different from all.
Dang.
Her other skins. It's
Yeah, it is
nice to
very
see
different from all her
that,
skins.
Difference, and she's getting
Wow.
like a kind of dark theme going on.
Yeah,
That looks good.
With all the armor
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh,
That looks really good.
I bet this will pair very well with the the Atlas skin that just.
Bro, can you imagine Smite on Unreal Engine 5? Make it happen, high res.
Let's hear the voice line.
Unreal 5 Smite.
The universe is so pure, so orderly. We will have to change that.
Looks good. Looks really good.
So ominous.
Oh my goodness.
Beautiful.
That is
That's
ominous.
awesome.
It like echoes.
Smite 2 on Unreal 5. That's my dream.
All right, so that's awesome. So next up, we're actually going to do a quick pause. We mentioned this a little bit earlier, but we just want to touch back on the viewer store. So the viewer store is going to have some updates coming.
Looks like Sauron. Yeah, the helmet, right?
We announced it. We said it earlier. We're going to say it again. 9.2 is when the viewer points are going to be reset to 75,000. So if you are above 75,000, you will be brought back down to 75,000. If you are at 75 or below, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. You're going to remain where you are. So make sure that you get whatever you want from the viewer store before this ships on February 22nd. To help with that, there are going to be 2 more rotations of skins coming out pretty rapidly. February 8th, you're going to have a Hel, a Neith, and a Ymir skin. And then on February 15th, you're going to have a Nuwa, an Athena, and an Erling Shen skin. So make sure y'all are keeping your eyes on the viewer store. The release dates for those will be in the patch notes. You can go check those out if you forget them, like I would 10 seconds from now. But make sure you keep your eyes on those because we want y'all to be able to spend your points before the new season comes around. Another thing to note is with the new season, Season 9, obviously we're going to have another viewer pass available for y'all. And the viewer pass is going to come with a new skin, which we're going to show off in a sec, that is pretty much going to guarantee that you're going to get the viewer pass because it's amazing.
It's so good.
It's so good. And as well as doubling the amount of viewer points you can earn all across the board. So if you're, betting on SPL or doing predictions for SPL, then you'll earn double points with the viewer pass. Yeah, you have twice the weekly cap and twice as many points earned just for participating and watching. So it's very good if you're using that viewer store, and we're going to continue to try to rotate things throughout Season 9 to make sure that y'all have content that y'all can pick up from hanging out with us on stream and earning those viewer points. So there will be also a Viewer Pass Plus, which will come with a whole heaping bunch of viewer points. I believe 100,000 viewer points for getting the Plus Pass. So if you want to start off with your pockets full of Plus points, then might be worth it for you. But let's get into the skins and show y'all what it's really about. So the first thing, this is the stretch skin, is Shadow Prowler Bastet with the viewer point store.
I love this theme every time we do it, and it works so well here, I think.
All right.
Yeah. Oh,
Let's see that in game. I'm curious how that looks in game.
There's like some really cool fur
Dang.
in the skin, and I also love
that looks good.
That little bit of waviness in the skin.
Dude, hunters need more cool skins, man.
You're right. These skins are always turn
Look at
out
the
really
whip.
well. The theme just hits really hard.
Wow, her whip looks really
I
cool.
volunteer as tribute.
I was about to say, pulsing with energy. I absolutely love it. And I also love, like you said, the way that the skin has this aura about it. It's kind of moving a little bit. It's so...
Yeah, it's a viewer point skin.
Let's hear what the voice line sounds like.
The forest speaks to me. I must listen.
Oh, so creepy.
That's terrible.
Why are you trying to spook me in February? What the heck?
That's awesome.
All right, so this next skin it's just I've thought of how I wanted to announce this. I don't think there's any perfect way other than saying it's here. Next up, we have Big Gun Kepri.
Oh shit! What?
We've had this in the chamber for a while.
What?
We're finally pulling the trigger on it.
Bro, what?
Oh my goodness, it has been
That
a
looks
community meme for so
insane.
long. I'm so happy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Finally got it locked and loaded for you guys.
I've been reading the Biakai tweets forever.
Oh my
I'm
god!
excited for whatever one comes out after this show. Look at them.
This kid is crazy. What?
And all I want to say is Soj King has been an Olympian for 3 days, and he's finally here.
Big Gun. Oh, this is just so great. He is the gun. We made him the big gun. So it is.
Yes.
Bro,
like,
that
little,
skin
like,
is
mouth on the bottom of
nuts,
the chamber.
dude.
This is so amazing. Like, I already love, like, it's hard to beat Crab Rave, but I am contested for a favorite Kepri skin yet again.
Oh yeah, this has to be.
Yeah.
This is just so out of this world. You know what I mean? Like just
Look at him.
just such a cool
My heart is just
or
it's
like
full
original
right now.
design. I
Let's
guess I
listen
don't
to the
know.
voice line.
It just
I never thought
you would never
I'd
expect
one day
a skin
be
like this.
smoking gun, literally. But here we are.
That's really good, man.
Oh,
It's so perfect.
That's really good.
Awesome. This deserves to be seen in game.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
for sure, yeah.
And we start looking down the barrel of the gun.
Kepri's
That
just a
is
gun.
so good.
This is hilarious.
Lock, stock, and one smoking barrel.
Dude,
in this case.
True.
Ooh. Gotta just make him into the gun. This was such a good design decision, I think. It works so well.
Well, we hope everybody's happy with it because we have heard.
I love the hat, like the hat just kind of,
Yeah.
like, flips up when he jumps. I love that so much.
But yeah, y'all talked about it and wanted it for so long, we couldn't not. We had to find a way to make it work.
Yes, I think Sinfo and Byakai, they've been,
Oh,
trying to
that's
get
cool. It's like a
this
big bullet.
skit in for so long. Big shout out to them, but I'm just so
True.
happy to finally see him.
Yeah, look at the
Amazing.
giant bullet. That's so
Ugh.
great.
Oh, the 3 is the bullet.
That's
Yes.
so good. See, this is I talked about how important the Olympians are earlier. This is what it is. Y'all meme us hard enough, and we'll put Kepri gun into the game.
Yeah, meme your Olympians, guys. They
We-
want it.
We take our memes very seriously here, as you can see.
Yeah, that is so awesome.
Cool.
What an absolutely incredible
Oh, the
skin.
dance!
Yes, let's go.
Oh, that's
God
hilarious.
damn. That is so good. I love his mustache too. So much character. Oh my gosh. All
That's
right.
really good.
My heart is racing. So that is those are the skins coming with update 9.2. Again, February 22nd. Y'all can go to the patch notes now and see all of that stuff. So just I'm super happy to share all of that. And as Big Gun Kepri proves, if y'all are fanatic about something, we love trying to make your dreams come true. So we hope y'all love it, and we're super excited about it. So
We're all ears, that's for sure.
awesome. Well, thank y'all for joining me. There's one more big thing going on after this, and that's Shiva. So let's get into it right after this video.
Come on, bring us Shiva.
Our journey has been arduous. Tiamat's reign has divided us, but no longer.
But Lady Bellona...
Have some faith, Merlin. They're gods.
What if we're not ready?
Then we'll fall united.
My liege, be on your guard.
The child and the daggers are no match for our gods!
I feel like I'm watching a movie.
This is not the end. For there is no end. Death, life, destruction, creation, threads of the same fabric. No matter who you worship, where you call home.
Bro, she was insane.
Connected in this life. And in the face of destruction, you can despair alone or persevere together. This is not a world built in your image.
No. It is a better one.
Let's go. The what era? The Dharmic era.
Chills every single time. Every single time. So y'all can welcome back Ajax and Clumsy here to talk about Shiva.
Tiamat is dope, yeah.
So many things to talk about. This is such a huge release that we've worked incredibly hard on. I couldn't find a single person that I have worked with in the last couple months that if I asked them about this, they haven't been like, oh, this has been eyes on, hands on, hearts on the whole time. And we're excited to finally bring it to y'all. And let's start by talking through some of the just some of the lore, the key pillars, stuff that we thought about while getting into Shiva. Like let's just take it away.
Yeah.
Back
I won't lie. AJ and I have both been here for a lot of these releases. I'm so excited for Shiva. I'm
Oh, it's
honestly
pronounced
more
Shiva.
nervous
Okay.
now than I usually am. Not because of the stream, but just because I'm just excited. It's just nerves of
It's a
excitement.
big deity, man.
I guess let me just get that out of the way.
Very popular deity.
Shiva. Shiva is one of the primary gods of the Hindu Trimurti, which is basically the three gods, the three premier supreme beings of the Hindu pantheon, alongside Brahma and Vishnu. He is the supreme lord who creates, he protects, he destroys, and he recreates the universe. In some sects of Hinduism, in Shivaism, he's actually the original supreme deity, and there's many aspects of his lore that we wanted to utilize within his kit, utilize within his design, but there's also just so many different themes.
Why does this feel like a big moment, right?
You know, he's known to be the original
Feels like a big
yogi,
moment.
living at the top of Mount Kailash, I believe, with his wife Parvati, his son Ganesha and Kartikeya, right? So Ganesha is actually the son.
Ganesh is his son?
Too.
Oh, that's cool.
He's not a god of destruction. His title is the Destroyer, and that's because, again, he is the cycle of inevitability. He destroys the universe, and that's not seen as a bad thing. His worshippers and the people who believe in Shiva, it's not something that people think about in a negative light. He destroys the universe that it can be created yet again. It's just a cycle that is so integral that it's actually the name of his passive in a way too, samsara. Of course, when we looked into his kit, his design, his art, there's so many aspects we wanted to make sure that we were very key on bringing into the game. Into our version of Shiva. So as we've talked about in the closer look,
they do a lot of research
game as well.
So
you know,
I'm gonna go with them.
Probably
Shiva.
I could just say a whole list. I think we've talked about a little bit.
Do a lot of research with these
gods. We're gonna get
gods.
into a little bit as you see him in game. So let's have a look in game at Shiva.
Great
Here
idea.
we go.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we showed
art.
off his concept art, and there's, again, you can see all the different things about him, whether it's his iconic pose to the cyclic ring around him, to all those different pieces of art in his model.
Donut.
Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and here we are in game.
Oh, he looks good.
Oh, absolutely awesome. Yeah, so beautiful.
So I guess this is a good opportunity to actually talk about a little bit.
He looks
of
good.
The things that are,
I don't think he's tall. He's just zoomed in.
And just parts of his model, because we went through not just painstaking research, because a lot of this is things that we knew we needed to bring into the game. So whether that's the matted hair that he has with the top knot that you can see has actually the blue tinges to it, because it's actually holding the river Ganges within it. The blue skin, but as well as a slightly deeperly blue throat, which is based on his stories of the poison.
He looks
of course,
awesome.
He's got his snake buddy with him as well, which is actually integral there. We've got the horizontal lines in his forehead, the vertical eye, and I'm going to go through these a little bit. The crescent moon in his headdress. We've got his trident, which is the Damaru drum. We've got the Agni fire. We've got the meditation beads in the tiger skin. There's just so much love that we've.
Damn, dude, that's a lot of stuff. They really did their research.
Really well, awesome. If y'all think we're at a good moment, let's just see a showcase of the abilities.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Knock it out. Let's show them
Oh,
off.
I'm nervous. Hold what?
It's so awesome. I'm getting chills just from the sound effects and the visuals. Oh.
Yes.
The audio design, the visuals, the particles, the animation. So much love from all departments.
Absolutely.
Literally firing on all cylinders constantly. So, I mean, let's just start off. Let's go through everything. Let's start off with the basic attack. Let's talk through that.
So yeah, Shiva does actually have longer basic attacks like we would see with a normal spear or lance user, the 16-foot range.
Oh, there's a bug already. It
change,
highlighted,
so
but he wasn't in range. Bug.
The second one will be slightly weaker. He is also, yeah, of course, he's a physical warrior, as we've mentioned in the Closer Look blog. I know people were a little bit confused, and there's some people saying he's an assassin. No, he's a physical warrior. Although we expect him to be played in potentially different lanes, but we can talk about that again towards the end.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, he looks like a hunter to me.
Let's get into, what about the passive? So, Samsara, you said?
Yeah, samsara. It is the idea of the cyclicality of the universe. That is going to be his gameplay hook. It's going to be what we talked about in the Closer Look blog. He's a state switcher more than he is a stand switcher, and that you can see in his passive. He's going to be going from the two states of bliss and destruction, and you can go through these by dealing damage to enemy gods with the different attacks and abilities.
Right now he's peaceful and he's about to get into like Super Saiyan mode.
The state switching. One is just a primary buff or debuff state. So if you're in Bliss, you're going to be providing HP 5 and MP 5 buff aura to yourself and allies. If you're in Destruction, you're going to be doing the reverse to enemies. You're going to be decreasing their HP 5 and MP 5 around you. But playing off of that state for his abilities is that each one of his abilities outside of his ultimate will be providing different utility effects depending on which state he's in. So the abilities themselves won't be changing. And you're going to see, if you look at the patch notes, I'm sure you're going, why does he have so many different things? It's because you're going to basically be switching between different utility effects. And I'll go through each one of those as we continue on with the abilities.
Awesome. Well, now seems like a good time to continue forward into his first ability, Emblazoned Sweep.
Yeah, so his first ability, it's I want to say these are pretty simple, but when you put everything together, it's not quite so simple. But Emblazoned Sweep, Shiva is kind of enhancing his trident, the Trishula, with the Fire of Agni, which is what he's holding in his hands, as he spins it around him, dealing damage and pulling in all of the enemies.
Pulling in?
When he spins around the trident, he's also leaving behind a firewall at the edge.
Yeah, that's such a cool ability.
It's not a dot, but if you do cross within the threshold, you'll take damage. Think kind of like Ganesha's ultimate. Now, the spin does damage. The damage on the fire, of course, is there. And going into that passive a little bit more, if you're in the
That's
Bliss
a
state,
pretty cool ability.
now, the fire has a little bit of that blue tinge. And that's because if Shiva or his allies cross through that fire, they'll actually gain a movement speed buff. Now, if we switch to Destruction state, enemies who go through that will actually be getting their protections reduced for a short duration. So that's how the passive kind of works. If you're in Destruction, the allies no longer gain that movement speed
That's
buff,
interesting.
but the enemies gain a utility debuff instead. And like I said, we'll talk about the different effects on the different abilities, but there's a primary core component, which is the circle pull in and damage with that firewall, and then either the movement speed buff in Bliss or the protection reduction in Destruction.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's super awesome. And I love the thematic, destruction or creation.
That's really interesting.
Absolutely amazing. So I guess we'll move on to ability number 2, Damaru's Tempo.
Damaru is that little drum that he's attached to the Trishula Trident, and that's what he's going to be using with the striking his trident in front of him with quite vigor that you can hear the Damaru shake. So what's happening here is you can actually see there's a segmented cone where you can choose which part of that cone you want to have a knockup, really. The enhanced effect of the knockup. The damage is going in throughout the cone. The knockup will also be hitting depending on which segment you choose, and those are the core components of the ability. The damage and the knockup will always happen. Now, for the states, if you're going to be in the Bliss state, it's an attack.
That's interesting.
Buff, always for Shiva, so you don't have to worry about it. He'll be gaining that. You can see the little buff that he gains in the tooltip icon, as well as allies. Again,
yeah, he's a bit higher skill cap for sure.
Using this through enemies and through allies, they'll be gaining an attack speed buff as well. It doesn't matter. The segmentation is only there for the knockup. If he's in the Destruction state, it's going to be an attack speed debuff instead. So nothing positive for your allies.
I mean, a lot of the times you're going to like 1 then 2 melee range, right? That's probably the combo.
A lot of discussion came up with this one in the blog post. This was the ability I was referring to about the unique cone targeter, where we have had cone targeters with a segment. Actually, we had Atlas, but this one actually has a manual selection of which segment you want to do the bonus effect in, which is a very new effect and has a very unique skill shot element to it that feels natural and you hit it a lot. But if you do get lazy or are careless or you're trying to hit multiple targets, you might make a mistake and have to pay attention more.
It's cool.
So when
really
it
cool.
does have a little bit of a time before when you select and you've locked in the segment versus when it actually fires. There is that pre-fire target you can see which locks in that segment so you can continue casting and knowing where the knockup is going to be. But just keep that in mind. Also, as you guys can already tell, Shiva has quite a bit of CC and control. It's mostly between these two abilities. There's less CC in the rest of his kit, but these are primarily very important. And now,
yeah, that's the combo right there.
I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but if you're playing against a Shiva on lane, maybe a Stone of Gaia to try and sustain back from some of these knockouts.
Of course. And I just want to comment on something that I think I noticed while we were showing off that last ability. If I'm correct, Shiva is one of the few people that has a non-combat animation. So an animation that only plays if you're out of combat. Is that correct?
That is. It's a feature that a lot of gods have, but a few within the last few years did not. It's something that essentially what it does is when the god is just idling like this, they will have a different idle than if they had just recently attacked. They would also have a different run and jump. So it's quite a few animations. It's a lot of the movement, jumping, the movement, the jumping and movement, and Smite includes 8-way runs, which is a lot of different directions. So there's a lot of extra things there. So it is a very expensive additional add, but it's something that we've seen a lot of feedback for, and we are going to be attempting to bring back on as many future gods as we can. So much shout out to the animation team and for their planning and their work to get this on Shiva and make this god feel as special as he deserves to be.
I couldn't agree more.
This does not refer to dances, emotes, or special emotes. That's a completely different system. This is a much more subtle system of animation that adds additional kind of flavor and personality to the god while you're playing them.
All right, let's see the other abilities. Come on.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally just saw that as we were talking about it and watching them transform from that, the after attack or post attack animation, and then just all of these movements just are so fluent and had so much character in life. It's just so enjoyable to watch. So super cool. Sorry to interrupt. I just fell in love with that. So next up, we have ability number 3, and that's Pillar of Dawn. So let's talk about the Pillar of Dawn.
Yeah, Pillar of Dawn. So Shiva chooses a selection mechanism. So it's kind of like 2 separate dashes in a way. So you can choose
looks like Hachiman 3 almost.
Into, and you can choose, that can be a short area, as you can see there. You can change the range on it. And Shiva dashes to that to the pillar, becoming CC immune and taking reduced damage while he's inside there, as well as pulsing kind of an aura
That's
effect.
so cool, bro.
Each dash deals damage to enemies in and out, as well as that aura, which does different things again, going back onto the passive. So if you're in Bliss state, you're going to be pulsing out a block stack to your allies, a maximum of 1. But Shiva himself, at the
Give me a block stack.
The duration of the pillar will actually be accumulating block stacks. So he'll gain up to 3 when he leaves, and you can see that as the orbs floating around him. If you're in just the destruction state, we kept this one a lot more simple. It's just going to be pulsing damage around him in that pillar.
Awesome. It is. So, I love like
Wow.
the silhouette.
That's really cool.
Yes,
that is such a cool looking ability.
A good mention because
that's
we
such a
wanted to
cool looking
utilize
ability.
His stories and his lore and his identity as much as we could. And one of the origination stories of Shiva is that he actually emerged from a pillar of fire, revealing himself to Brahma and Vishnu. And that's something that the design team really just wanted to latch onto, and it just brought such great imagery that the art teams just executed on fantastically. So I'm very, very excited for this ability.
I couldn't agree more. A beautiful implementation.
That ability is dope.
Absolutely stunning. So now we are on to the ultimate, which I'm super excited for, and this one is called Shiva Tandava.
Yes, that's right. So one of the things that I didn't mention is that Shiva, as the many different things, as the primary yogi, is the creator and destroyer. He's also a lord of dance, and that's something that he utilizes the Tandava to kind of destroy the world, but also in just many different stories to do many different things. But this is it. This is his ultimate dance, and quite literally. So in the Shiva Tandava, Shiva's CC immune for 6 seconds doing his dance, and there's up to 4 different steps that are always happening on the 1.5 second beats. In the first step, so also, I guess, before I get ahead of myself, you can see his buff, his ability icons change to the 3 different steps, and you can choose which one you're going to be going into next. So no matter what, there's always going to be the step that is performed at the 1.5 second beat, but you can choose an interchange between them. The first one is a heal for himself and allies, as well as a soft mana restore. The second one is the amplification step, where it does a little bit of damage, a little bit of healing, but also amplifies the radius and the effects of the next step that is performed. So you can see here the radius actually gets bigger. The third one is a damage to enemies, as well as a shield reduction to enemies. So you can choose which.
Damn, look at the damage there.
Again, the art team just did such a fantastic job, whether it's between the effects to the
animations, so your 2 amplifies the other one. So you want to do your 2 first, and then you do the damage one for a big hit.
Each one of the different steps that he performs, whether it's
that's what it is. That's dope.
Different pose. He's got his ongoing dancing loop throughout. I mean, really just a kudos to all the teams involved, and I'm going to be talking about that a little bit.
That 4 steps.
Later.
So you can go 2 3 2 3,
6 seconds of immunity,
2 3 2 3 for big damage, or you can go like 2 3 then 2 1 for big heal. That's really cool.
I mean, it's incredible from every angle. It's hard for me to choose what I'm most excited to talk about with this, but I feel like it's worth mentioning. The Destroyer, a creator.
2 3 2 1 2 3 2 3 2 1 2 1, depending on what you want.
Unbelievably cool.
Really good team fights, yeah. Really good team fight.
I don't know. Just hearing that is, for some reason, that just really stands out to me as something that is super unique and super awesome. And watching
if you do two twice, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't amplify
destroying me with it in game
anymore.
Post 9-2, I don't even think I'm going to be able to be mad. I'm going to be like, all right, well, I mean, it hurt, but that was
such a cool character, bro.
It's a very high skill ultimate as well. I don't know if we really mentioned that. It looks like a big circle, so those tend to be easier to use.
That's really cool.
Positioning and the decision making, and
this
really
God's kit is awesome. It looks so much fun. It looks like so much fun to play.
it does make you vulnerable in many ways, right? It's got movement, it's got CC immunity and mitigations, but you're also stuck doing that effect for a while. So if you mistime it, you can really put yourself in a risky position.
Very, very true.
Yep. As soon as you start
Why not just do 2 of the same step instead of amping one?
Again, you're not getting an extra movement ability.
Because the 2 also does damage itself.
Their movement ability, you're gonna have to cancel out of that, wasting the.
So you'll have more if you just 2-3, 2-3, than if you just do 3-3.
Either way,
3-3.
I'm excited for all of how compatible this ability looks like it'll be with so many other Gods kits. I think it's going to be cool to see how this plays into the game overall.
That's really cool, bro.
Do y'all want to get into talking about a little bit of the
Imagine popping Heavenly and then using that all? That'd be so cool.
The world of Smite.
So we talked about a little bit earlier that, he is a warrior. We're hoping that people give him a try in the soul lane, but between the different utility
They
events,
did a great job
he's
representing
probably
him.
gonna
Box him,
find
yeah.
decent success as a guardian warrior as well in the dual lane, and I fully expect people to try and give him a good run for the money in the jungle role too.
Nah, he's a hunter.
Yeah, I definitely expect to see some.
I can see him being support too.
Just some playing the support role, like with that duality of being a damage dealer, an enemy attacker, or the ally helper, with the creation half. I think there's a lot of flexibility here depending on how you play and monitor which state you're.
Yeah, and also to keep in mind, we talked about how sort of Gaia could be pretty useful against Shiva. Another thing is if you build a little bit of anti-heal, as much as we hate to say it, or build into Cursed Ankh, or any of the Ankhs even. Of course, we've changed them up with the relic upgrades. That kind of limits what Shiva can do with his ultimate. He kind of is forced into the destruction, because if he tries to use Bliss or Amplification, he's going to be healing himself and his team, and actually probably hindering them.
Yeah, so it's crazy thing about a new character is there's all these new things you can do, and it's also a whole variety of different doors that are open for counterplay. I'm just excited to see this to happen. So let's move on. Let's look at some of these recolors, or some of the new skins, starting with Supreme Protector Shiva.
Oh my god, I don't think I've seen the card art for these, so I'm gonna just be kind of awestruck with each one.
I mean, big same, honestly. I absolutely love.
Really nice. Wow.
So good to me.
Yeah, we're utilizing
the snake's awesome.
Fire pose here, which is just sweet. I love the meditation beads. So
very
cool.
Nice classic recolor with the slightly different skin tone, but then the white tiger fur, which is really
cool. So cool, man.
Right. And like the green highlight. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I am a huge fan of the 4 arms. It's just that's just something I love. The more appendages, it makes animation a lot harder, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it does.
our animation team is incredible, and just another huge shout out to them for making somebody with 4 arms like that have such an elegant flow. So here we're moving on to Ascended Shiva.
Yeah, and he's so much more aggressive in this one. He's just really, if you're facing this version of Shiva, you really want to back down.
Yeah.
And this one we did more texture to the skin. The ash that is actually associated with his yogi background, which is really cool.
Yep.
And awesome to continue
I just hear
to see
Yu-Gi-Oh?
these thematic pieces of very important lore portrayed across these various skins too. And then we have the mastery.
It's like resplendent. Yeah. I love it.
Absolutely. Resplendent is a perfect word. Yes.
Shiva.
Ooh.
Nice.
That is so awesome to look at.
I've never seen a blue tiger before.
It's a New Game Plus kind of thing,
Yeah, true. You haven't gone to Zoo Game Plus, I guess.
And there's a lot of lighting, importance of the lighting going on here, because I feel like just as we spin around him, you see a lot of that different detail change. So that's cool.
Yeah, that is super awesome.
These skins are highly, all of the Diamond Legendary Mastery, highly reflective.
Yeah. I just absolutely.
That looks really good too, man. That's the gold, right? That's the blue gold skin.
They all
looks
look
great.
Super great. So, and that was Shiva. I mean, what more? There's so many good things. We're going to continue to talk
diamond.
Got a diamond too.
Oh, there it is. Nice.
And yeah, I was just like, wait a second. There's 3, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is so awesome. We would be doing a disservice not to hear a voice line as well. So let's hear a voice line.
Of course.
I was there when it all began, and I will be here.
I'm ready for Shiva to dance all around my corpse.
That voice is just so powerful and calming.
Yeah, we actually were able to get Harish Bithmani, who's the voice actor, who was, chat may not recognize that name at all, but he was a voice actor for the Mahabharata like deity kind of show in, back in India. So it was great to be able to work with him.
That's amazing. Yeah, we've been spending a lot of extra effort and time on each of our gods to make sure we have voice actors that really symbolize and represent the culture of the god. And you actually see the Hindu gods show up in TV and movies quite commonly in India, right, Kunzi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome to have an actor who's even familiar working amongst voice acting with other deities and figures like that.
It's like that before the haircut. True.
Great. And man, there's just so much. I'm trying to just make sure we don't miss anything there. I know Clumsy has a few more things to add about this god because it's just such a special development cycle.
Well, for sure. I mean, we mentioned in the Closer Look blog that, as one of the designers who worked on Shiva, that I actually have roots in Hinduism. In fact, I'm half Indian and I was a born Hindu. I was humbled and just excited at the prospect to work with Shiva, with the teams, and also just to be able to get the opportunity to talk to my family, to talk to my grandparents, my aunts and uncles about what Shiva and what Hinduism meant to them, and just getting those ideas for what Shiva could do.
Really cool.
It's not just about me at all. It's about all the different teams and their passion that they got to bring into this game. So as usual, but for Shiva specifically, I want to thank the art teams, animation, effects, sound effects, 3D modeling, 2D concept in the UI, the rigging. They all were able to bring such a beauty into this game that I hope you guys are really excited. And I don't want to dismiss.
Yeah, I'm gonna play ranked after.
We're able to work with all the different asks that we have of them, and we're able to bring such great work. So gameplay, programming, tech art, and QA, and all of you guys, thank you so much. We are all very excited to bring Shiva, the first Hindu god since Ganesha in 2017, to Smite, and we loved working on him, and we hope you love playing him. So
and another shout out to our cultural consultant, Krishna Bova, who will be credited on the patch notes. She helped us throughout the entire process, looking at the earliest concepts of Shiva and what he looked like, what he was going to play like and sound like, and everything like that. And there's a lot of different information about this god out there, and there's even, as like Clemsy mentioned, there's lots of different thoughts even within Hinduism that are different about this character. So we really wanted to make sure we covered as much as we could and had as much guidance.
I remember when Ganesh came out.
Had hired a
Ganesh
to help us to answer questions, to point us to more accurate source material, to make sure we were doing the research correctly, make sure we were interpreting things correctly.
But I thought
showing things correctly. So
the Hindu deities, they don't pronounce the A at the end of their
the various art stages and making sure we were moving along the right track.
Right,
so,
they don't pronounce the A, right? Like Rama's supposed to be Ram, Ganesha's Ganesh. So isn't Shiva supposed to be Shiv?
Yeah,
or
I
just
mean, it's just going to be the same thing that everybody else has been saying, but there has not been a single person throughout this entire process of when we learned that this is going to be a character in the game and moving forward. I have not spoken to a single person across every team that I have talked to.
Depends on what language.
I
Interesting.
talk to a lot of people all the time. Every time a decision was being made, they're like, "Are we doing this respectfully? Is this going to? Are we showing that we care? That we're approaching this as seriously as we can?"
Most South Indian languages, the A is kept. Gotcha.
That was always at the forefront of our decision making. Was, are we respecting this culture? And I hope that we did a good job. I think we did.
Generally, the North Indian languages drop it. Gotcha.
We hope that y'all
That's cool to know.
So, this has been the 9-2 Destroyer update show. So many great things to look forward to on February 22nd. Thank y'all for joining. PTS will be open later in the week. We'll just keep your eyes on Twitter. We'll update y'all on that so that y'all can get in and look at some of the stuff a little closer. So thank y'all so much. I am Titan Dandy. And thank y'all for joining me. And
very cool. Very cool. That was awesome.
Bye,
very awesome.